Hey guys, I am here today to offer, as is my custom, my pre-release thoughts on Forced Perspective before it comes out tomorrow. So to kick it off, I'll explain a little bit. If you've noticed on the cover of Forced Perspective, it says New Heights. What is New Heights? New Heights is just another expansion on the series. They are all novellas. They all have a little bit heavier erotic content than any other iteration of the Heights stories that I've told before. And what has been most fun and simultaneously frustrating for me is that each of these books is going to dive further into the origins, history, and really the heart of the Heights. So we'll get to learn more about the neighborhood, learn more about the people who were there before it was revitalized and all of that. And so I'm excited to explore, and I hope you are too. So Forced Perspective is about Brooke and Khayr. It was written right after I started it, right after finishing Raised by Wolves. And so I needed something very light, very low on the angst chart. I just needed something that was absolutely going to be a good palate cleanser, and that's what I was able to find with these two. Brooke is a photographer. She is trying to get her career established. Meanwhile, her hero, Khayr, is well established, or on his way to being well established, on his way to being a star, some might argue already a star, but he is very confident in his place in the world and not at all bothered by outside opinions and outside influence. And our Brooke, they're very different people. So we get to see them navigate this thing that they have going on. We get to see it, not even that we get to see it grow, we get to see them kind of discover more of what it is and really figure out a way to define it in a way that really works for both of them, which is a nod to the Equilibrium series, which was all about couples coming to the same page, getting on the same page, finding their balance or their equilibrium. So this story was initially written in serial format, with the people who are subscribed to my Patreon getting to see it chapter by chapter as it was written. And so they've seen all of this first. I'm not gonna hold you. There was a lot of Brooke is getting on my nerves. Brooke is getting on my nerves. Brooke is getting on my nerves. And look, not too much on Brooke. Not too much on Brookie. We are often very hard on heroines as they're trying to navigate, as they're trying to figure out their way. And this book is no different. I was not surprised by the reception of her, but I do wish that there had been a little more kindness and a little more understanding before we discover kind of more of the root behind why she is the way that she is. So I think that a lot of people were very heavily Team Khayr, but I don't think that they were opposed. I don't think that they were coming necessarily from full-blown opposition. I think Khayr would be very much Team Brooke with me, because I'm very much Team Brooke. I'm always on the heroine side, so, you know, that just is what it is. So what to expect? What's the vibe? Very, very light. We're gonna see some familiar faces. You'll see, maybe spoiler alert, you'll see Jules, you'll see Nick, and you'll also meet some new people that you should kind of pay like like I mentioned before, definitely heavier erotic content than normal. This is a novella. It will be available exclusively on the CCJ Romance site. It will be available on Kindle later, but for now, just on the CCJ Romance site. Writing Forced Perspective was a very mellow experience for me. The only time that I would say that I really felt kind of stressed out was when I knew that it was coming up on time for me to give my patrons a new chapter, and maybe I wasn't quite finished with it yet. And so I would have to kind of put, put a power up, put a booster on so that I could get through that. But other than that, like I said, just a very mellow, a very a very low-key experience, and I think that's what the reading experience will be for you with them as well. There was never a point in writing this book where I felt like, yes, I know exactly what's coming next. It was very much me just working on vibes, which is how I used to work, and it felt good to be able to go back to that, even if just for a little bit. It felt really, really good to be able to hit that place again. So just with everything that's kind of happening around me, happening in my life right now, I do think that I'm going to be hanging in the New Heights for a good little while. My patrons have already chosen what the next book in the series is going to be, but they're already reading book 2. They've chosen book 3. They don't know the details of it yet. They picked a poll just kind of based around the trope of it, but they're reading book 2, and I'm about to be done with book 2, another novella that I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you about it. But they are already reading book 2 over on my Patreon, and they're having a really, really good time with it. The name of that book is Split Decision. If you care to go ahead and get started with it, like I said, you can join my Patreon. There's all kind of cool stuff that happens over there. Book of the month club, early access to any type of merch sales, which is coming very soon. All kinds of sneak peeks at this thing or that thing that I'm doing. I try to make sure that I keep a lot going on over there. And so if you're so inclined, you can join me over on Patreon, and like I said, we're going to have a good time. But if you're not interested in that, that's totally fine as well. Split Decision will come out sometime probably towards the end of August, and we'll keep the pace up and keep it going from there. But that's all. Y'all know I like to try to keep it light on the spoilers here, and so I don't have too much more to say, because, you know, the longer that I talk, I start rambling, and it makes it more and more likely that I'm gonna start saying some stuff that I shouldn't. So I'm gonna keep it brief. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you in advance for your support on the release day on tomorrow. I know a lot of you guys have already pre-ordered the book, and I see you guys. I see every bit of love that you guys have already thrown my way with this. This book I actually sent out to several Black reviewers who have done for advanced reviews, and a lot of them have already gotten those in. They've done these beautiful book aesthetics. I share every single one that I've seen, that I've been tagged in, and all of that. And so hopefully that can kind of give you a little more context around the book. They've been really, really good about not spoiling anything, but still giving you the vibe in a way that I have not quite been able to because the mouth. But anyway, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll holla. Bye.